Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to discuss a new topic called sorting algorithms. So, what does sorting means? It means that we are arranging our array or we are arranging a series of elements in a particular order, either in an ascending order or descending order. So, today we are going to come across how many types of sorting algorithms are there, and then one by one we will go through each of the algorithms. So now what are those sorting algorithms? So we have bubble sort, selection sort, counting sort, bucket sort, insertion sort, and merge sort. In today's video we will be going through bubble sort, okay, and we will see how does bubble sort work, why is it called bubble sort, and what is the code, or we can say what is the pattern of writing a bubble sort code. So we will see everything about bubble sort. Then in the upcoming videos we will be going through each of these sorting algorithms one by one, okay. So now let's move on to what is a bubble sort. Okay, now bubble sort, it is an algorithm, okay, and it is used to sort, and it is a very basic approach of sorting the array, okay. Now we will be coming across a lot of optimized ways also, but these are kind of like basic approaches. We should know that it will help us to build logic for the few for further programmings, okay. So we will be going through the syntax for all the kind of sorting one by one, and today we will see specifically bubble sort. Now why is it called bubble sort, right? Means what do we do in a sorting algorithm? Means let's say I have this array 1 3 4 2 0. Now sorting means either I will be arranging it in a increasing order, or I will be sorting it in a non increasing order or the decreasing order, right? So now let's say I want to sort it in an increasing order. So what will happen according to that? First 0 will come, then 1 will come, then 2 3 4, right? This is a sorted array. Now in order to get a sorted array, we need to perform some series of steps. Now how do we do that? We know how to check for like uh, values between which is greater, right? Means if I have been given 1 and 0, I we know that how to check which number is greater, right? So what if we put it in a proper loop? Then we can get complete comparison between all the elements, and we can get to know which is the highest, which is the greatest element, which is the smallest, then second smallest. In the same way we can arrange our array in the basis of on that basis, right? Means the basic approach, the basic thing that we will be doing is comparison, right? So we know that we will be comparing each element here. Now the way in which we compare, or the way in which loop will work, which that will only differ in the different type of sorting algorithms, okay. So now in bubble sort, the reason it is called bubble sort is, means if we have water, right? If in that the bubbles come at the top, right? In the same way in bubble sorting, what happens? The smaller elements, they come at the top. Means first the sorting will start from the smaller elements, and then we will move forward by one, okay. So that's why it is called bubble sort, which means the smaller elements will come at the top, and then we will get one by one, we will be sorting the entire array. Now as I said, bubble sort algorithm, it gets its name from the way that smaller elements bubble to the top of the list, and this is done this will be done in a loop, right? So it is done repeatedly until we get a proper sorted array, right? And we will keep on swapping the numbers until we get proper sorted array. Now how do we, what is the basic syntax, or what is the code that we follow for bubble sort? We will see that. So we are sure that we will be comparing two numbers. Now how do we compare one number with another? If we have an array 1 3 2 7, okay, let's say this is our array. Now in order to check which is greater, I will be comparing this number with this number, right? Now how do we do that? If let's say this is I index, then this is I plus 1, right? So if I have a loop which is using j to iterate, then I can use arr of j and arr of j plus 1. Now the question comes, what do we have to check? Whether we have to check greater than or less than. Now since we want a value in like in ascending order, so we will be using greater than. So we will check if arr of j is greater than arr of j plus 1 or not. If it is so, then we have to swap the numbers, right? So the basic idea of this is how to find the maximum numbers, right? Whenever we are finding a maximum number, we are checking. Let's say I want to check the maximum number in this entire array. So how do I do that? I will be taking a variable, and in that I will be storing the maximum value, and I will check with each variable. Instead of that, here what I am doing, I am comparing all the values, and I am taking the minimum value and I am storing it. I am then taking the second minimum value, then I am storing it. So in that way we are working here. And the since like we are not confirmed that it, like let's say there is a possibility that we have a means entire array is given as sorted only, but then also it will go through the entire array in order to check if even one number is also here and there or not. Okay, so that is the basis of bubble sort. So here what we will do, we will be swapping the numbers. So we will swap arr of j plus 1 and arr of j. Okay, now we know that this will be followed here. Now how does the loop work here? Since here we have the two numbers that are getting swapped, we will need a iterator, right, which will iterate for the entire array, and it will keep a count till we reach n. Means what I mean here is, means like I start from here, okay, and I start I have 1, I am on the 0th index, and for that how does it work? If I have 1 2 3 7, and one loop will keep the count of iteration. So since we are using j to compare, therefore we will have one more loop which will keep a count of the iterations. Then what we will do, we will take a for loop, it will be an outer loop, and it will keep count of the iteration. Okay, now we have the count of iteration. Now the question comes, how does our inner loop work? This is for sure that it will start from 0th index, right? Every time we need to compare one by one, and we know that the smallest value will go on the top and the largest value will reach the last. Okay, now let's say I am checking. Okay, I have this let's take this example only, 1327. Now what I do here, in the first iteration I start from here and we compare both of these. Okay, now we compare if the 1 is greater than 3 or not. It is not, so we will leave it like that only. Now it is 1, in the iteration 1 we have 1327 only. Now we will move to iteration 2. Before the j index was here, now j will move to this index, right? So in the iteration 2, now what will happen, this is j, then j, it will be j plus 1, right? So we will compare 3 and 2. Now which is greater? 2 is smaller than 3, which means we need to swap here, right? What we were checking the condition, if arr of j is greater than arr of j plus 1, which means that our condition is becoming true. Now what we will do, we will be swapping the numbers. So what we will get here, 1 2 3 7, right? Now our index will move from 2 to here. Again in the iteration 3, what we will do, we will check again what we will check, if these we will compare if ARR of j means this position number is greater than this or not. It is not, so we will leave it like that only. Now what were we doing here? Like, we made only one, although we made only one comparison here, but we saw that the smaller number was sent to the front, right? And the bigger number was keep, like, we were sending the small, like, bigger number to the end. Now let's take one more example where we will have like more jumbled array, so that we will come to know how does this work. So let's say I have 2 3 1 4 and 0. Okay, now we will compare both all of these. We will start from here. This is j and we have iteration 1. This is our first iteration. Now we will compare both of these. Which is greater? This 3 is greater, therefore we will not swap. We need to keep in mind the condition, so I will write it here. We need to compare ARR of j is greater than ARR of j plus 1 or not. Okay, so this condition is false, therefore we will not swap. The array in the first iteration will remain as it is. Okay, now in the iteration 2, let's see what happens. We will compare, this will become the j index, right? Now we will compare both of these. We see that 3 is greater than 1, which means we will be swapping the numbers, right? So 2 1 3 4 0, right? We moved the smaller number to the front side, right? So now again in the third iteration, our I will, like, the j pointer will be moving to the second index. So now what we will do, we will be comparing both of these. 3 is smaller than 4, so there will be no changes and the array will remain as it is. So we will have 2 1 3 4 0. Now in the fourth iteration, the pointer will move here and we will compare both of these, right? We will be comparing both of these. Which is greater? This 4 is greater, so 4 will move on to here. 2 1 3 0 4. Now we see that we have pushed all the smaller values to the front and the largest value has reached the end of the array, right? Means 4 has reached the end of the array and this was the largest value in the entire array. Therefore, like, let's say when we have reached the, we cannot compare after this, right? Means if we have j here, we don't have any j plus 1 value, therefore the iteration should stop here only and we will move on for the, like, right now what we had, I is equals to 0 and j was continuing from j is equals to 0 to less than n minus 1. Now for I is equals to 1, again we will start a new iteration. Now we were we are starting from j is equals to 0, because we will start again from j is equals to 0. Why? Because we need to start the comparison from here, right? But we see that the last value that we got, it is already fixed now, right? The largest array, largest element in the array already reached the end, so we don't need to again go here and compare, right? So what we can do, we can just iterate till here in the second iteration. So what game, till where we can iterate in j, so that we will then we will satisfy this condition. Let's say if I am having n is equals to 5 here, right? And genuinely if I will iterate, I will be iterating till less than 4, right? In order to reach till here only. So 0 1 2 3, I will be iterating till 3, so I will be iterating till less than 4. And what I am doing, every time I will keep on reducing the length, because I know all the smaller values will be pushed to the top and the greater value will be arranged at the end of the array. So what I can do here, with every iteration I can minus that I, right? Every time I can iterate till less than n minus I minus 1. And why am I telling it? Let's see in the second iteration, right? When we have I is equals to 1. So till now array that we got in the first iteration, means the first I is equals to 0, we got 2 1 3 0 4, right? Now again j will start from 0, so we will restart from 1 only, so that it will be like kind of easy for us to understand. Now what we have here, we will be starting again from here, so we will be comparing 2 and 1. This is greater. Again what we will do, we will swap it. Let's swap it. So 1 2 3 0 4. In the first iteration we got 1 2 3 4, like 1 2 3 0 4. In the second iteration what will happen, 2 will come here. Now we will compare both of these, right? This is smaller, so we will not be swapping it anymore. 1 2 3 0 4. So we will be not making any changes in the array. Now the pointer will move here, right? Now what we will do, in the third iteration we will be comparing both of these, right? Now what will happen, 0 is less than 3, that means we will again swap, right? The condition that we were checking was if ARR of j is greater than ARR of j plus 1, then we had to swap. So we will be swapping here again, and what we will get, 1 2 0 3 4. Now again we are seeing the same thing. The second largest element has reached the last second end of the array, which means that if we are iterating till here only, means this should be the last comparison. We don't need to compare after that. So after every reach or after every comparison, we are reducing it by ith number, right? Means here till where we were checking, like we made one comparison for this, then for this, for like for this, and again for this. So we made total 4 comparisons, right? In the same way, here how many comparisons we made? One for this, then here, and that's it. We made 3 comparisons. So it is decreasing as as our I is increasing, right? Before we made 4, now I became 1, and the number of iterations in j became 3. Means if we are reducing it by I, then we will get a proper idea or a proper number of iteration, and we will not be again checking for the largest element anymore, because this is not required anymore, right? And the required smaller elements are pushed to the top. Now again for I is equals to 2, we will be checking the same. So we will iterate, and again we will be comparing this at this. There will be no change since 1 is smaller than 2, and 3 and 4 we will remain as it is. Now the iteration will go from here till here only, right? Means 1 and 2 are compared. Now these both will be compared. 2 is greater than 0, therefore we will be swapping both of these. So in the second iteration only we will be swapping 1 0 2 3 4. So now what we have to do, like we made 4 iteration in the first, like 4 comparisons in the first one. In the second iteration, or when I became I is equals to 1, then we made only 3 comparisons. Now when I became 2, then we made only 2 comparisons, right? So if it was n minus 1, then this became n minus I minus 1, right? We had 4 and we have 2 here, so we are getting 2 here anyways, right? So this is what these are the times that j will be iterating. So now what we have in the loop here, we have I from iterating from 0 to less than n, and j will be iterating from 0 to less than n minus I minus 1. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, I will also iterate till less than n minus 1. Why? Because once we are we reached here, okay, we need to compare these both. only one more iteration is left, means I is equals to 3. We don't need to compare for I is equals to 4, right? If these both are compared, 0 will come to the first and 1 will be going after that, and we are getting a proper sorted array, so we don't need to compare it again to sort it. Therefore what will happen, we will be going till less than n minus 1 only, and j will be going from 0 to n less than n minus 1, n minus I minus 1, and then we will be comparing and swapping it. This is what is happening here. Let's see. In the first step what we are doing, we are starting an like I loop, and it is iterating. Okay, this is the basic number of iteration that you will be performing to to completely sort the array. Okay, now when j is equal, this is the way we will be iterating for j. We are writing only the number of till where we have to iterate. Okay, means we are not writing 0 here. There are two, right? We have start and end. Here we are only mentioning end because the default value for start is 0 in range, therefore we are only giving the end, and the step value is default as 1 only, and since we need default 1, we need only one step every time, therefore we are not giving the step value also. And in the same way we are checking the condition in Python. The we can swap the values by this way. Okay, means if we have a value here, okay, if you have, let's say j is equals to 1, c is equals to 3, and you want to assign this c value in j and j value in c. So usually what we do, we have to take a temp variable, then we assign a value into that, right? And then in c we will be assigning j, and again in j we will be assigning the temp value. But here what we can do, simply normally you can take two numbers and you can reverse the number in which you have to you have to assign that. In ARR of j I am assigning ARR of j plus 1, and in j plus 1 I am assigning ARR of j. Okay, and since arrays are mutable, right, we can make the changes in the same place or in place, and we don't need an extra array. Therefore we can return the same array, and it will be returned as sorted array only. Now let's move on to the code editor and we will see how to run this code. So let's move on to the code. Okay, I will be mentioning this code, this question link in the description, or so let's move on to the code. Okay, I will be mentioning this question link in the sheet, and the sheet link will be in the description. You can access that from there, and you can use this code editor because you will get an idea about the questions and in which companies these questions are asked. So you can see the list of question companies in which this question has been asked, and you can get an idea about how to prepare yourself in each field. Okay, so now let's move on to the code. First what we have to do, we have been given an array and the length of the array, and as told, what we will do, we will be iterating from 0 to n minus 1, right? So we will less than n minus 1, so we will give here n minus 1 only, and we know that if we use range, then it will go till less than 1 only, means it will not go till equal to n minus 1, it will go till 1 less only, which is basically equal to the for I is equals to 0 and less than n minus 1. So we are doing that only here, and we will have one more loop j which will go till less than n minus I minus 1. So now we have I and j loops. What we have to do, simply we will be comparing, right? If ARR of j is greater than ARR of j plus 1, then we will simply we will be simply swapping both of these numbers. So ARR of j and ARR of j plus 1, we will be swapping both of these. Now when you will when this iteration finishes, you will get a proper sorted arrays, you just need to return it. Okay, so let's return this array and let's try to run this code now. So the sample test cases are passed. Let's try to submit it. So this code has been accepted. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments. And in case you have any doubts related to this video or any of the videos, please let me know in the comments too. I will try to clarify it, and hope I was able to help you with a sorting algorithm and you learned something new from it. Also, in order to continue with me in this coding journey, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you will be notified every time I post a new video. Thank you for watching.